little bit about how you put this all together?
Well, simply, there's a large sump in the back that everything feeds into. Off of that sump, you pull the water out, and indiscriminately we send the water in every tank. So when the water enters the mud refugium, as you can see, we have a higher flow rate on the refugiums than we do with regular tanks. But after it comes in, when it exits, it just goes right back to the sump. And then it goes back to the pump. And once again, it's getting indiscriminately sent to one of the tanks. So it isn't like this refugium takes care of those 4 tanks. It's more or less these 6 refugiums take care of the entire line. And we also have a large skimmer on it because there's a lot of bio load in and bio load out, which is a lot of strain on the system. Being that when your order comes in, you're not exactly sure what you're getting. So it puts a lot of strain on the system. Even when the clerpa, as you see, we sell a lot of macro rods at the top, and they come in and they're stressed from shipping, and they start to degrade and they die, and that releases a lot of nutrients back in the water. So that skimmer really helps. But as you can see, everything's doing wonderful. And I mean, Carline's growing, everything in here's thriving. We got corals and eggs everywhere.
Tell us maybe some of the benefits of having a system like this.
Well, I will say this, it definitely spikes people's interest because I labeled everything with the refugium and I put a filter number on it. And people look into the tank as thinking that there's something for sale. When actually we don't sell anything out of these 6 tanks. But it starts up a conversation of taking, what is this? And I tell them it's the filter. 90% of them just think I'm kidding at first. And when I tell them that this is actually filtering the whole line, then there's a whole new realm of, what am I not doing in my tank? And not only is it like constantly supplying food to everything, health, it just makes my life easier.
Have you found that you're able to keep, harder to keep animals than normal?
I am. There's stuff like basket starfish, Antheus, everything. There's nothing yet that we've been able to put in here that's giving us any trouble. Anything we get in, now our fish line is on the other side, but if there's anything we get in that's fragile, obviously we put them in here, because this is, much more life.
And from what I understand, you used another type of substrate prior to using the Miracle Mud.
You know what, Larry? I did. I set up these 3 tanks with the Miracle Mud, and I was trying to run an experiment, or kind of like, on-hand thing. So I set these 3 tanks with different mud, Crib C and another version. And at first everything was doing good. I'd say about 6 weeks into it, the 3 tanks that did not have the mud actually began to crash. And I more or less lost all the algae in these 3 tanks. Subsequently, I removed all of the bad substrate, just kind of got rid of it, and I put in the Miracle Mud, and that was, I guess, around late October. And as you can see, they're just doing wonderful. I guess that, the leaching properties of that mud just keeps everything alive. But the original concept was to be able to show people the difference in the substrates, but I just couldn't live, couldn't make it.
So you contribute the Miracle Mud to the success of this whole system?
Absolutely. It's definitely about the mud, without a doubt. Because I tried it without using the mud, and it wasn't happy.
Excellent. Yeah. Do you notice any unusual reproduction taking place in the system?
You know what? Actually, I do, Larry. As you can see, we had feather dusters, and they're distributed throughout the entire system. I guess it was maybe around 2 months ago I came in, and the entire line was like a milky white. I didn't understand why, so when I took a closer investigation of it, I noticed that every feather duster in all the tanks was spawning, was giving off sperm, reproduction. And since then, if you notice this tank right down here, I never put anything in this tank. This was actually just supposed to be housing some rock. I've taken the rock out, and since then, there are a large number of feather dusters that have reproduced into that line, and they're still growing to this day, as you can see.
Wow.
When I had corals in this line, I had corals here because my coral tank was leaking at the time. I had my star polyps. They were also doing it. Each tank, every tank there were star polyps, every one of them was letting off sperm. But as of yet, I haven't seen any star polyps popping up. I'm totally happy I've done it. I mean, I really made a good move. It's been nothing but beneficial. Especially it appears that it's something new. A lot of people don't even know about it. And this way they get to come in here and they can see it firsthand. Right? It's really an educational thing.
It is very interesting.
It's fun to look
at. I've never really seen anything quite like it.
Gets a lot of looks.
Well, Bill, as far as the plumbing of all this whole system, should you go over that with us?
Sure.
How that's all connected.
Between each system.
Right.
Yeah. What I have is I have a main pump room, which just holds all of my fish only line, which is like, you know, medicated and everything. And back there I make salt water, we have RO water, and I have the whole building plumbed into one main line. So just by turning the valve, I can send to this system salt water, RO water. And by changing another valve, I can take water out of the system and send it to my coral tank, to my fish line, and just move it around the building. This way you don't have to carry buckets all day, break your back, and drive people nuts. And you don't see anything, doesn't kick the water off the floor. It works out nice. Yeah, it works out nice. Plus, when the water comes out of here, even though it's for a water change, and you would consider that water to be used, more or less, it's still coming out really clean. Low levels of everything, so I'm able to use that in other lines, kind of recycling.
Do you find that there's any particular type of chlorpa that's better than another?
I did, yes. I've been trying different chlorpas in the refusions. I've tried everything I get my hands on. And it seems like the Chaeto is just phenomenal. It is so hard. It's almost pulling. That stuff gets in there, it starts growing. Unlike some of the chlorpas that seem to be a little more fragile, and they break down easy by going clear. I haven't had that at all happen with the Chaeto.
Do you keep your lights on in the system 24 hours?
24 hours, never shut them off. Obviously, the lights external of the refugiums, they're on a main switch. But the refugiums light, they just don't ever turn off. I got to say I have about 80 watts on each one of those tanks.
And what type of growth do you think you're getting as far as rate of growth?
Well, I will say that in my tanks I have at home, the individual tanks with ecosystem refugions on them, I think the chlorpa grows better. Because in here, I'm putting in, you know, your load's not staying the same. It's constantly fluctuating. And it's, like I said, the strain that's putting on the system. So at one point, it's growing really fast, and then I sell everything out of the system, and then there's no bio load, and then the growth seems to really subside, almost to a standstill, until my new water comes back in, and then it will start to be reversed again. So it's really up and down.
So all in all, are you satisfied with what you've done here?
Tickle pink. I love it. It works out great, and I mean I don't have any troubles. I mean I have, this thing's about 500 gallons, and it just takes care of itself. All I gotta do is keep the front glass clean, and everything in here, love it. Nothing dies, everything thrives. Makes my life easy.
Excellent. It's a very interesting concept. We're really impressed with what you've done.
Thank you.
So we would like to honor you with a certified dealer certificate.
I'd be honored.
You have showed us that you have the methodology of our concepts now pat, and you've actually put it into works, and it seems to be working very well for you.
It almost works for itself.
We would like to certify you as a dealer that has concepts of our system now.
Wonderful.
Present it.
Thank you.